A unique festival to the Piedmont gears up for its second night. Actors, authors, and artists are on hand for the National Black Theater's presentation in Winston-Salem. More than 20 theatrical productions like Can I Speak for Your Brother will run through Saturday.
Philip Walker is a playwright and an actor who uses drama to convey a social message.
Universal has no need for stars. Down the street, nobody will understand just what freedom means. Wear the crown. I wear the crown. So proud to say that we all wear the crown. You won't remember what you're missing, but down some dead-end streets there ain't no turning back. Afro-American, I tell you like a friend. Try to remember, dear, we're only strangers here. Everybody sing again. Oh, Martin Luther King. Come on, smile. Let freedom ring. That's right. Oh, Martin Luther King. Now sing. King holiday.
Good morning, I'm Elliot Forrest. Today on Breakfast with the Arts, beginning a celebration of Black History Month. And we'll meet actor and director Philip Walker of the African American Drama Company and see him in scenes from Can I Speak for You, Brother, a one-man play depicting black leaders.
Saint Martin, your name will never be forgotten. After the march to Washington, everybody figured that his work was done. He left his home and his family to help some folks in Memphis, Tennessee. Now I recall the words he spoke just hours before he died. Well, I've been up to the mountain, children, I've seen the other side.
The African American Drama Company has performed as its primary and almost singular work plays on the history of Black America. Now director, actor, and founder of the company, Philip E. Walker, will perform excerpts from Can I Speak for You, Brother, a one-man play depicting black leaders, starting with the folk character High John the Conqueror.
John, is that your way of getting in shape for the fight? Oh, eyes in shape already, boss. You know, John, if I wasn't so happy about the fact that you gonna get your butt stomped, I'd take offense at how you just throwing my $30,000 away. Oh, our money's good, massa, and your bet is good as good. What a fool you are, John. What a fool. Is that a chicken leg you eatin'? Uh-huh. And where did that chicken leg hatch out of? Oh, I was about to tell you, boss, before you asked, but I stopped, 'cause I know you don't trust me. Oh, I trust you about as much as I'm able, John. Good, 'cause what happened was this. It was last night, about midnight, that this chicken just flew into my window. I got so scared that I grabbed my big knife and I chased that chicken all over my shack. That chicken got so scared that he shivered out of all of his feathers and died whilst doing a backflip right into a skillet of hot grease that just happened to be on my stove. I done heard about enough, John. And then what happened on Massa is that chicken was fried before I could blink. So I prayed over the chicken and thanked the Lord for sending such a blessing to a poor but proud slave such as me. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. You know, boss, the Lord sure do take care of his own, especially when you's doing good. Until the public schools shall cease to be caste schools in every part of this country, this discussion will go on. Until the colored man's pathway to the American ballot box, north and south, shall be as smooth and as safe as the same is for the white citizen, this discussion will go on. Until the courts of the country shall grant the colored man a fair trial and a just verdict, this discussion will go on. Until color shall cease to be a bar to equal participation in the offices and honors of this country, this discussion will go on. Until the trade unions and the workshops of the country shall cease to proscribe the colored man and prevent his children from learning useful trades, this discussion will go on. Until men like Bishops Payne and Campbell shall cease to be driven from respectable railroad cars in the South, this discussion will go on. In a word, until truth and humanity shall cease to be living ideas, and mankind shall sink back into moral darkness. The world shall put evil for good, bitter for sweet, darkness for light. This discussion will go on until all humane ideas and civilization have been banished from the world. This discussion will go on. Y'all ever get tired of people playing with your life? Playing with your children's lives? Playing with blackness? Playing with Africa? You ever get tired of people telling you what you should be doing for yourself? You ever get tired of people posturing, posing, and profiling? We all know Negroes look good, but we don't own nothing. We don't have no land. We don't have no army. We don't control no major institutions. We don't even teach our children how to be themselves. We don't influence black domestic policy. We don't influence foreign policy towards Africa. We are a powerless, defenseless people. But we looking good. Looking very good. Step now, step now, y'all. Looking very good. The white boy make the clothes, put them on the store dummy. We, looking good, outdress the dummy. Hey, step now, step. Step now, y'all. Get in step, brother. Let's get a strong line. Looking good. Step on in. Step in. Imamu. All that is good and accomplished in the world takes work. Work is what we need an abundance of. Work for a better value system. Work for ourselves like we work for General Motors. Like we work for integration. Like we work for the Son of Mary. Work. Reach one, teach one, work, and study. Study the math, the physics, the chemistry. Now that is revolutionary. Study the science of building. That is revolutionary. Study the inner workings of yourself. That is revolutionary. Think about building a livable world. That is revolutionary. Meditate on a new way of life. That is revolutionary. Juba, 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 do move Juba into agriculture like we move in fashions. Work, Juba, work, Juba, work, Juba, work, Juba, work, Juba, work. Now, Juba, 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 do now work. Write some work songs, Juba, work. Play some work music, Juba, work. Paint some work pictures, Juba, work. Nah, Juba, 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 do now. Work raw honey for the brain. Work exercise for the dead blood cells. Work live serum for the tired muscles. Work chakra for the body. Work the land into food. Work to keep your woman by your side. Work the evil into good. Work the enemy into submission. Work and organize the work. Work and develop the work. Work and study the work. Work energizes Africa and African people. Work energizes Africa and African people. All that is good and accomplished in the world takes work. And everything else is jive.
Philip Walker, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We loved your performances.
Good, good.
The three excerpts we heard are from your play, Can I Speak for You, Brother, a one-man play depicting black leaders. Mm-hmm. Let's take each one of these characters and just tell me a little bit more about them. Hi, John the Conqueror. Tell me about him.
Hi, John, from our research, was the most popular leader in slavery time. Our play is all about leaders, right? And people go, well, that was a faux character. He never existed. Well, if you're a slave, your leadership is, the structure is a little different. Hi John was the trickster. Hi John was the most intelligent person on the plantation, but he was still a slave, and so he had to deliver his intelligence and lead the community in a way that would not get him killed. You know?
And are there roots of Hi John that go further back than America?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely an African character that then is changed and adjusted so that it works for slavery time. It's also a character that we find in all downtrodden people, the Nancy in Africa, or the Coyote character for some many native cultures.
And there's a little Brer Rabbit there, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Hi John was the most popular of them all, that's all, but there were several of those kinds of characters that made it possible for us to survive slavery.
And Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass, well, now we get out of slavery, and someone has to be strong enough to stand up and intellectualize what needs to happen. The piece that I did is actually post-Civil War, and it's fascinating. We look at it, Frederick Douglass probably was naive. He probably thought after this war happens, or after emancipation happens, then the African American would be, or the Negro, would be equal. Well, the war was over, and he found out that was not the case at all. So what
it took a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer. So what that speech is Frederick coming out and saying, oh, we're not finished yet. Until this part gets taken care of and this part gets taken care of, I'm going to still keep talking. And he kept talking until he died. You know?
And the third person we heard, I have to admit, I was not familiar with.
Haki Mahabuti. Haki Mahabuti, many people are surprised to see him in a play that depicts Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass and leaders of that nature. But from my opinion, Haki is perhaps the most important African American leader alive today.
He's still around.
He's still alive. He's the only person still alive in the play. Now, he is not popular as a Martin Luther King was, or as a Frederick was in his time. And perhaps he as a person doesn't have the kind of charisma and such to cause that kind of leadership. But his writing
for those of us that are familiar with it, and anyone that becomes familiar with it, gets to see that this guy has a window on our society. He is a prolific writer. He used to be used to be the second largest black publisher in the nation, second only to Johnson Publishing.
Wow.
So when I add him to the play, I'm talking about his writing. I'm talking about how important his writing is, and I hope your viewers will go into the library or go online and read some of his work. They will be fascinated by it.
There are 9 characters in your play. Of course, this is available for people to do, and there's an ebook version that people can read and download too, right?
Yes, we've just published an ebook version of the play, and people can download it at a very small price and have total access to what we believe is exceedingly fine literature. In the TV show here, we've just gotten a snippet of it, but all of the pieces in there are high-quality literature, and I think people will really enjoy it.
You know what I think would be interesting is for you to give us a little history of Black History Month. I didn't realize it started off as a week and that there was an actual person behind it that started it. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Carter G. Woodson was a historian, and he concluded that it was necessary to do something after the World War II, do something to kind of codify or kind of identify the accomplishments of African Americans. And so he figured, all right, here's what we'll do. We'll select a time right in between the 2 holidays of February, the great emancipator, Abraham Lincoln, and the father of our country, George Washington. And so he made a Negro History Week, that week that is in between those 2 birthdays, right? And then nobody heard about it. That was just Carter G. and a couple of his friends sitting around saying, okay, we're celebrating this. No one heard about it. But for some strange reason, many years after they had announced this Negro History Week, they got together again in Chicago, where they had originally identified the week, and turned it into a month. Now, this makes no sense at all. The week wasn't working. What made them think a month was going to work? I don't know. But as we know, the month actually absolutely did work, and today we find that many Americans know that February is Black History Month.
And it's certainly a busy month for you.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about the touring and the nature of your company.
Well, we are a Black History theater company that tours. The only time that we play in our home in San Francisco is when we create a new show, which is not often at all. Instead of changing art, as most theater companies do, we change audiences. So we create a piece of art and we'll move it around the nation and travel extensively. We are the nation's only company that has played every state, and we've played every state at least twice. So we take Black history, we research it, and then we find a way to make it palatable, make it so that it's interesting rather than reading out of some book. Nobody cares, really. And then once that is accomplished and it's turned into a piece of entertaining art, we then deliver it to organizations around the nation. Traditionally, we've played universities. This year, I'm very happy to say our tour is exceedingly diverse.
Phillip Walker, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. We enjoyed it.